Hello. So, grower champagnes. There is 16,200 growers in Champagne, and 42,000 of those produce champagne with their own label, and 1,900 of those export. So basically, grower champagne is the one that is drinked mainly locally. And of course, they also do the classical method of champagne, but not as complex as the houses does. But still, if you find the good house, you can have an amazing price-quality ratio with them. There is hundreds and hundreds of great producers that they usually range producing from tens of thousands of bottles to some in the couple of millions, some in the, but mainly let's say in the hundreds of thousands of bottles. I would generally rank that the champagnes from the growers are from around 80 points to 95 points in my scale, meaning that you won't be finding those absolute masterpieces that require decades of aging to do, or the finest, like an example, find from Krug or the P2s of Dom Pérignon or something like this. But still, amazing price quality is what you can get from the grower champagne. And the aging potential, usually, there of course are always exceptions, but I'm talking in general speaking, it's from a couple of years to around 10 years is when you reach the primes of drinking. If you take any beautiful champagne and age it for 2 years, or if you manage to keep champagne for 2 years, for me it's always problematic because I'm a wine drinker, a champagne lover. It's very, very difficult to keep bottles not drinking. So yes, so a couple of years is good, and 10 is usually where you hit the maximum peak of the champagnes. And growers mainly produce from their own vineyards. Of course, some might have some longer contracts, but basically, without exception, it's usually from their own vineyards. And the growers is something that for all the champagne drinkers, like if you ever go to visit Champagne, just go and visit one of the big houses, the one that you like, some grower champagnes and then artisan champagnes, because then you get the whole what champagne is. The cool thing about the growers is that they can be just a family-owned business. So if you visit there, you get to meet the winemakers, the owners and everything, and you get to form a relationship. Every time you go there, you will have a nice hosting from them. So it is something where you can actually get close to everything. So that's something that is, for me, when I meet growers and winemakers, it's the most interesting part is to talk with them, have my questions answered, and then when I drink their wines all the time, I get to recall these fond memories of visiting and the discussions and everything. So it is super nice. I like that. Also, it's good to notice that a lot of the growers, they also do their own labels, but at the same time, they also grow grapes for the bigger brands or just sell on the open markets, but that's okay. There are some super great ones that I have counted that I like from the growers. I mainly, my thing is that I focus on the bigger brands and their prestige cuvées. They are my cup of tea, and then the artisan champagnes. And in between there is some a lot to discover, but for me, I'd rather go on the two extremes. And but there is some, like let's say Frank Bonville is super nice, and example Marc Hebrard is nice. Margan, I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm so sorry, but there is so much of these, and I encourage everybody to discover them. But also, when you discover growers, don't just stop there. Champagne is much more than growers. Champagne is much more than Dom Pérignon. The whole idea is drink a lot, drink from everywhere, so you actually understand the whole of Champagne. Then after, you can decide where to park your drinking.